Que rollo pollos? It is Joshi Pudu here with another Hunger Games map tour video. Now, this Hunger Games map was called the Wonderful Winter Hunger Games, and it's another one of those just old school maps that I built with my friends a long time ago when I used to play Minecraft. Here is the spawn. I used to actually teleport people up here and put them and make sure they have beds, and they would just set their spawns and make sure their hunger is like full. That's why the cakes are here, I believe. And I would teleport them down to their pods. Before we go down there for the tour, let's make sure I give credit where credit is due and go to the credit board, which I usually have on my maps. So this is all the people I had help from. Once again, Tez FTW. Tez was a big helper on the Candyland Hunger Games map, I believe. Ugreg, Tsunami 88, and Seadog 710, and Lubukai. I do remember Lubukai definitely being one of the bigger helpers. Definitely was always just building with me on this map. So yeah, shout out to Lubukai. Okay, so Wonderful Winter Hunger Games rules: don't break blocks, 2-minute grace period, and have fun. So I don't remember trusting people. I think I would actually turn on PvP after 2 minutes instead of just trusting that people would know when 2 minutes is. So here's the pods. Let's see if we can find the host pod. Here we go. Oh yeah, so same kind of concept. I'd be here, 1, 2, ready, go, and then we go to the middle. And this was one of my favorite cornucopias. Middles for Hunger Games maps. I really like the idea of this big snow igloo type deal, and there's a snowman on top of it. Would you look at that? You can go into the snowman. I always had this concept that if you're going to build something like this, like a snowman or anything, going inside of it is always the best deal, because then you maximize your space. Really nifty stuff. This is one of the bigger maps too. Let's go straight for the ice castle. Is this the most textured and pro ice castle? No, but it's definitely, back in the day, it was a killer one. Queen Lubukai's room. Yeah, Lubukai and I used to play a whole hell of a lot. I thought this was parkour, but I guess not. So let's see what you were gonna be granted with if you made it up to, wow. So we didn't refill that chest. I think that's a problem. That chest should be filled. And then I believe this other tower was King Chipthug's room. So King Chipthug and Queen Lubukai. We got a pool up here for whoever wants to take a bath in a very, very cold tower, because that makes sense. Let's see. I think every one of these rooms is identical. Yeah, I didn't know what to do with this. I think I had a lot of hands-on with this build, and I didn't know. There's so much empty space that now I feel like I could think of what to do with it. But back then, I guess my idea was just to make a bunch of rooms, and not put anything in them but the same stuff. What's in this chest on top of this tree? Cool, XP. All right, Cane Creeper. Check this out. I can't actually remember who made this, but I really like the Cane Creeper and the idea. And just like I said, you can go inside of it. So that's really nice. Let's see what you were granted with if you went into the creeper's brains. I think we're in the hat right now. Cooked rabbit. That makes sense. You could also get inside the face, but nothing. If you got inside the face, there's nothing for you. All right, these walls were really fun to make. Not as detailed as the Candyland Hunger Games map, but they kind of suit the whole vibe of this map. Yeah, so this was just a mansion I built. You can kind of tell which buildings I built. They are just too basic. I thought a good backing for a chair was actually doors, so that's how that worked out. We got TV going on. People are watching karate in this mansion. A whole upstairs dedicated to a bedroom. Yep. I think I like the idea of making up or taking up a bunch of space on these maps. But once I actually made the big old building, I didn't put much in it. There's just so much empty space, which is okay. Because with a bunch of empty space, we can build massive chandeliers, and that's really, really helpful. All right. I think this tower was, I don't know. I think Tez built this tower. There's just a ladder in the center. So I'm just going to fly up to the tower. But yeah, I think this is some firework thing that happens. Yes, check that out. And you can't even see the fireworks fast enough. Oh, that was a creeper, I think. What do you get up here? Just a helmet if you risked your life to come up here, and you would fall into there. Nice water little thing going on here. Let's go ahead and check out this. I was really proud of this. Out of everything I built in this map, or everything that's kind of in this map, probably one of the most proud things was this hill. It's similar to Cornucopia, but once you climb it and you think, oh, it's just this tiny little house with maybe a chest up here, right? Okay. Oh, wow. But if you're really looking, you find this trap door and you go all the way down. Oh, I'm having stick drift. There we go. I got to get rid of this stick drift. I have stick drift and it's annoying me. You actually fall into an underground city, which is within the mountain. Isn't that something? Come on now. This is good stuff. All right, town hall. So let's be respectful and enter the town hall. Reception. No one's here working right now. If you take the road next door, you have Sea Dog's illegal lollipops. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. I don't know what kind of lollipop Sea Dog was selling here, but it looks pretty scarce at the moment. Bookstore. Young. Oh no. Running with the. Dog with an iPad and hairy snot nose. Okay, these are all knockoffs. I love it. Good stuff. What do we got over here? We're gonna spend a lot of time in here because I'm happy with this build. Black market doesn't make sense because it's actually made out of blue blocks. So I don't know who created or named that. This is just a hut to take up space, and this is a very identical hut to take up space. Yeah, and nothing's here once again because I was really into building humongous structures and then not giving myself much to do on the inside, just not filling it up much. Just like this big wooden mansion, this huge wooden mansion. It's very similar, like all around. It's just random stuff. I don't even know what that is. Some type of gazebo. I guess these are fridges, refrigerators. You go upstairs. There was great potential here for some good stuff, but it's just hollowed. I guess a lot of it feels hollowed now. Like it would be really easy to see your enemies. Like if you're playing Hunger Games on this map, it's not the hardest thing to just figure out like where someone's hiding. Is this a water elevator? Here we go. Another I don't even know what these are. I know that that's one of the best ways to fill up space is just to build a massive body of water. And I think that was one of my favorite tactics back in the day. Let's see. This is definitely the party room. DJ getting it up in here. Yep. And this makes sense that it's hollowed out because this gives a lot of people dancing room. So that makes sense. I'm just going to break my way out of here. I'll rebuild that later at another time. But for now, there's a tiny cabin over here. And I was like, you know what? I'm now all of a sudden paying attention to detail this day that I built this cabin. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a nice little cabin. Is there something in the back here? I don't know why I would want to go to this cabin in the game because there's nothing of value here to actually help me win the Hunger Games. But whatever. Let's make our way to, I believe, if I remember correctly, a museum. This is the Great Wonderful Winter Art Museum. Now, this was a stretch because it's just, I was like, what do you build? What do you build in this sort of unique style of building? And first we have a dollhouse inside this museum. You can't even get inside, but it's a dollhouse. A lot of the same artwork. I guess a lot of the artists have the same thing in mind. This is actually Liu Kai's skin. When Kai plays Minecraft, that was his skin that he always used to play with. He would play as the grass man. And before I became a boil, I would actually always play as the fun guy, the mushroom skin. So that's kind of like why we put our statues there, because we both had a lot to do with this map. And here's a snow creeper, a nice miniature one that fits inside the museum. Yeah, I really like this build, actually. I probably prefer this over that wooden mansion, because this is more of a unique idea, I think. This is truly just an iceberg in the middle of nowhere. That's all that is. This has to be a reindeer. There's no way it's nothing else. Just a reindeer. Nothing under here but a chest. Great, good stuff. Here is the ice tower, humongous ice tower. And I thought, what better way to fill up? How do you get in it, first of all? Not so sure. Yeah, what better way to fill up this tower with nothing but parkour on the walls? Now, I can't remember exactly, but let's see if I made it worth it. So let's say you're at like this jump and you finally make it up. Was it worth it to get up here because there's only one chest? I think so. I think I think this pair of wings, yeah, that's definitely worth it. That's a whole lot of stuff, and I think it's worth it if you made it up there during the Hunger Games map. Is this just kind of a side book library type deal? Nice, super cool. I don't know why a lot of these doors are open, and there was an empty chest at some point. This is just a tall snow tree that we built. Oh, here's a cool little mini castle. I like this. Yeah, this is really cool. I would probably build this in like my Land of Foils world, similar to this kind of style still. I don't even know if I built that. That's really cool. Here's a little town hall. I think this is not too different from the town that we... Que rollo pollos, I'm back. I had a little bit of an editing issue. My device stopped recording for some reason, but I'll have to look into that later. Anyway, that is actually everything within the wonderful Winter Hunger Games map. I believe we went through it all. And yeah, so I just really have a lot of good memories from these maps that we used to play on. I know I have a couple more maps I'm going to record of old school OG maps that I built with my friends. And although we don't play on these maps anymore, I just think it's really nice memories to go look and see what we built back in the day. But for now, I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hasta la vista!